the main window one. So we are talking about this right now. This exercise over here is about, I'm going to close this and open up my notepad. It's about combining data. Okay, there are two basic ways of combining data: appending and merging. We are going to do appending lah. So appending is like this. Just imagine if you have 4 or 5 workbooks or worksheets lah. The first one being here, right? Okay, we take the second one, copy paste down on the last row, down on the last row, the third one, fourth one, that sort of thing, right? So this is actually appending this way, downwards, vertically. It's actually appending. Merging in terms of Power Query, right, will be side by side, only 2 reports. So the accounting wise, this is about reconciling 2 sources of data if you talk about merging. So combining data is done in Power Query. This 8 and 8.1 is a Power Query exercise. Okay. So, alright. I'm going to walk you through what's in file number 8.1 because 8.1 is the source of the data. When the exercise starts, we are going to file number 8 to extract the source in 8.1. Okay, so this exercise is using Power Query to extract data, transform, and later load it back. Okay, the data route will be like this. Okay, Excel, which is our file 8.1. Okay, it's going to be extracted using Power Query, and in Power Query we'll combine all these worksheets together. Okay, so after finishing this combination or appending of data, we will load it back to Excel. Okay, file number 8. All this will take place in file number 8. So the route is like this lah. Alright. Now you may ask yourself, like, hey, why not directly copy paste? Actually can, no? You can just copy paste and get the job done. But when you deal with voluminous data, just be very careful about copy pasting lah, because there's a limit to the number of rows we can do. So the limit is actually our Windows clipboard, which can be easily opened right here. So over here, just now I earlier copied something, right, when I was updating the KPIs thing. So what happened is like this: when we Control C, the items that we Control C comes into here, the clipboard, waiting to be Control V lah. All right. So this clipboard has a limit. You might reach a limit when you're trying to copy 10,000 rows. Sometimes your limit will be 20 or 30,000. It actually depends on how many columns you have also. Right. When we actually get a warning message saying that you can't actually copy what you intend to copy, it's time to not pursue anymore. It's time to use other methods because you know that you face a data loss one. Right? Okay. And another reason for doing Power Query is like this: if we have a bunch of 20 or 30 worksheets to copy paste, the effort is kind of a lot, because this is just one series of steps for regardless of the number of workbooks that we are going to have to copy and paste using Power Query. Alright, so over here, right, data over here is all these worksheets, they have the same identical header. That's a pre-requirement. Okay, it's the same requirement as when we copy and paste. Okay, I'm talking about the arrangement of the columns. You see, let's say first file like that, second file we copy and paste, right? Of course the columns have to be aligned in all the source reports. Otherwise we copy and paste like cannot meet, right? Okay, so this is a very basic requirement. But for Power Query, right, we have to make the title identical, because it's going to find all the headers, title, and join up things together. So not only the arrangement is important, but the header name is also important. Okay, all the way downwards. Arrangement and spelling, stuff like that, has to be identical. Okay, if they are not identical, very simple the result will be, of course, thrown out on anything not identical it's going to be very messy. So the keyword is actually having your inputs standardized. Again, being obsessed about standardization. Okay, nothing here. All these items have different rows according to their region. Now, the form of data that we have in our worksheets, they are all ranges. Okay, a range starts from a cell and ends on another cell. That's a range, starting point, ending point right here. See here is I538. Alright, so when we see data in Power Query, right, the form of the data is no longer a range. It's going to be a table. Table is structured data where you only allowed one header and multiple rows of items. Tables do not have any tolerance for merge cells. It won't work if you have merge cells, if you are putting in a table. Okay, so remember something, don't merge anything. Make sure everything okay if you are working with Power Query stuff. Okay, alright, so I'm going to close this. Let's open up file number 8. Sorry, so I'm going to collapse. File number 8 is actually quite blank apart from notes. Okay, these are just action points on what we have to do for this exercise. Alright, if you remember, some of you actually done Power Query before, and yesterday we had a glimpse of where Power Query is. So it's right here. You can find under data for those who are new. Alright, quick walkthrough will be like this. When it comes to extracting, right, E, this button over here lays out all the sources which Power Query can handle. Now this listing over here differs from Excel version to Excel versions. Okay, it's like this. Now example, let's say if you have 365, right? Under 365, there are several versions on so this listing of things is actually quite dependent on those versions, right? Alright, I'm just going to do a quick walkthrough. File is a listing from file contains a listing of locally saved sources saved in your computer, with the exception of SharePoint, which you need a URL. Alright, from databases, right, Power Query has the ability for us to log in backend directly to the tables in each of these databases. Alright, okay, so I'm running an E5. You probably see a big listing over here, E5 version of Excel, that is a developer version. Alright, for Azure is actually Microsoft's online cloud services, which can hold big databases. This a Fabric is actually an umbrella where all the Power apps are Microsoft's new kind of apps, right? It's all named with the first word power for the matter. Alright, Power BI blah blah blah. Alright, over here, online cloud services, we have even Exchange server over here, yeah, and other things. Okay, now selecting the source, correct source, is very important. We know 8.1 is an Excel file, right? Yes, we can't select other things, otherwise it will throw out our results. Okay, so ready? Can you come to file right now? I'd like you to select Excel workbook to extract. We are in the extracting process right now. We're going to extract 8.1. So click on this and look for your 8.1. Okay, I'm looking. Where's the 8.1? Right here. There it is. You can double click or click on the import button. Same stuff. Okay. Select everything. This is the preview. Nothing, huh? So 3 buttons over here is like this. Don't cancel. This button will open up Power Create Editor window. We are not going to use this button. The reason is like this. There's an underlying reason why we are not clicking on this. Because if we click on that button, right, we are going to load 8.1 directly into Excel now. Okay. So what's the big deal? The big deal is like this. We haven't finished the job. Why go and load from Excel to Excel is very strange. Not only that, it will also blow up the file number 8 unnecessarily. Okay. Now this small tiny button, this load, the word like load, like actually talks about the final stage of the EPL load. No? Okay. Which is loading the Excel. So be very careful. I want you to right now not select load, because if you do the same as what I described earlier, loading the 8.1 into file number 8, I need you to actually look for this second option. This opens up a small tiny window giving us full control of things right here. Click on this please. Okay, don't add to data model because this is something else different. This is Power Pivot. Just look for this enough lah. This is a very simple exercise. Only create a connection means we are now in file number 8. We are just connecting to file 8.1. Click OK. And right now, the extraction process has complete. This window tells us what's inside Power Query. Right here. And you'll notice connection only. Nothing is loaded. We are going to Power Query right now. Simplest way to get into Power Query is double click on any of these items. Just pick one and double click. And Power Query window will open up. And Excel window is behind. Okay. Now the design is such that when Power Query window is open up, right, we can't click on Excel anymore. You see? Cannot, right? So we have to complete the job lah. Then close this window. Okay, so nothing here. 4 items what we've seen in 8.1. Now you want to track our source of things, you can actually go to view and click on this button over here. And this is the diagram showing us this bunch of tables from 8.1 from this folder. So this folder is my folder path alright. You see your own folder path. Alright, you'll say not loaded because we specifically did not load into Excel. So Power Query is a tool, it's a business intelligence tool, alright, which job is to ETL, extract, transform, and load. And it's not subject to the 1048576 last row of Excel. It can handle humongous amount of data. So long your data is arranged properly in Excel if you're extracting from Excel. Meaning no merge cells, please. And of course, because this is structured data, please make sure your files, your source files, right, is assigned a header or column nicely for everyone, for all the columns. Okay. Alright, so nothing to do here. Don't touch these steps. We are not doing a complete training on Power Query, but just how to actually work and operate combining many files involved in the budget that we are doing. Okay, this part here, don't do anything here because this is the undo button. In Excel, you don't see the undo button. Over here, we see it. So this is something not to delete because this is quite permanent in nature. Alright, can you go to home, please? Now look for the button that appends all this stuff. It's actually right here. You will see a small tiny button, right? Yes, I'd like you to open up the small tiny button. This allows us to create a new table. Actually, we're going to create a new table to house everything here, to keep things neat. So could you hit the append queries as new? Select 3 or more tables. Obviously, we have 4, right? Make sure everything that you want to combine is here. North is already done because I am in North. So I'm just going to double click on the rest. Be very careful not to overdo things. I'm just going to delete this too. Okay. Click OK, please. And the job is done actually. Come over here, your filter button over here, so as to check your regions. I'd like you to click on load more, please. And that's the 4 over here. Okay, done already. And just come over here and double click on this thing to give a specific name. Maybe you want to call it combine regions. Okay, and for fun, you can actually go to view and check your diagram. And by design, it's loaded to worksheet. This one we can't help it. Anyway, it's the final product. Okay, so done already. Now, Excel still nothing yet, actually, even though it says loaded. So we are going to load this into here, final result. Alright. So go to home. See this button? This will finalize everything. Alright. Close means close this Power Query. Load means load into Excel. Click. And you see the same worksheet name over here following the same table name in Power Query. The connection is like this 8.1 to Power Query, and from Power Query to here. And the thing is like this, if you delete something, right, and you come back to your table and hit the refresh button, this stuff, particularly this item over here, right, will be loaded up. Alright, and there's a way to unlink it. Unlink this table. This is an Excel table, guys. We are here right now. So this is not a normal range. This is structured data behind. Simple structure, header, and many rows of data. Alright. So, and this table has a name where it ring fences your data basically into something very structured. Okay. So to unlink from Power Query, this button, the other way to unlink is to convert this particular table into a normal range. So it's like this, right? Range to table with capital T, and if we click on this button, right, we'll convert the table back into normal range. That will actually disconnect from Power Query. Okay, because Power Query work on tables only. So why do we want to unlink? Well, sometimes you want to do a different report We don't want to accidentally refresh and overwrite things inside here. Okay, we're going to unlink later. We're going to actually convert things into range later, coming up with the budget numbers. Okay, so that's it for this quick one, crash course on this. If you are looking for this, looking at Power Query for the first time. Any questions? All good, not?